I repeat this point often in many of my videos, but I feel the need to keep hitting the nail, to drill in your mind subconsciously that all of the big corporations, all of the big media conglomerates, all of the entertainment industry that is distributed in the mainstream is not there to protect the interest of the common man. It is there to promote social engineering and to protect the interest of the 1% of the 1% who own those large industries. If you have any level of discernment, if you are even remotely astute enough, if you are awake even with only one eye open, you will probably understand what I'm about to foretell you. Let me show you this commercial and then we will go over the specific ideas being promoted and the specific engineering of society that is being attempted today. So let's get into this. And this is a CoverGirl commercial. Let's get into this.
Is it tough competing in a man's world? Maybe for the men. Lash volume that speaks volumes. Lash Blast Mascara from CoverGirl.
Now that we have observed the commercial, there are three major points that this commercial is attempting to make. Three major goals, three major purposes. The first is to promote competition with a man instead of partnership. See, one of the greatest things about the West, the quintessential nuclear family, was that the male and the female promoted different energy. You have the masculine energy and the feminine energy. You might not believe in it, but I don't give a shit. I'm not going to argue with you. Go find a channel you like if you don't like this. Male and female energy is different. Even scientific studies from Harvard have shown that their brain structures are different. For instance, the male brain has more gray matter, which helps you focus on one particular task, while the female brain, on the other hand, has more white matter, which helps them multitask and focus on many different tasks at once. The male and the female would complement one another. In society, the strength of a civilization is the citizens, and the strength of citizens is family. If you don't have strong family units, then you will not have a strong nation. So they are trying to promote the idea of male and female competing against each other so they are not partners. It also fits into the divide and conquer strategy. The 1% needs us fighting against one another about stupid shit like Jussie Smollett, Nike, so on and so forth, so they can continue to consolidate their power, similar to what happened when India was being colonized by the British. They would divide and conquer the populations against one another. And I never got the stupid notion that, oh yeah, I want a strong woman. A man that does not want a strong woman does not want to be challenged. I would argue the latter. I challenge myself in the gym every week. At the end of my 5-day workout regimen, I see if I can lift my max more than the previous week. Every week I try to read a book. I try to make sure I understand that book intellectually, socially, and how to use it to better improve my life situation, so on, so forth. The point I'm trying to make is I challenge myself daily. The hardest discipline is self-discipline. I challenge myself intellectually, spiritually, and to reach certain new financial goals. I don't need a woman to challenge me. When I come home after a hard day's work, after exercising, after working in the hot sun, I want a woman to come up beside me and cuddle with me, to lay with me, to be my companion. I do not want a woman that wants to be my competitor. So number one reason is because they want to end the nuclear family. And if you want to combine that, because it still is in the same connotation, it is to promote division, just like everything else. The second reason, which is quite obvious, what is the goal of a corporation? The goal of a corporation is to sell products. There is this new phenomenon called woke corporatism. If you look at a lot of older advertisements, especially during the 50s, the 40s and 50s, what people would consider World War II and the beginning stages of the rise of American manufacturing and power, you will see that a lot of those advertisements contained baseball, apple pie, the American flag, because that was what the consumer was interested in. Considering that a lot of millennial women have been propagated throughout the school system to think that what will make them happy is being a strong, powerful, financially independent woman. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying you should be dependent upon another individual for your well-being. But a woman getting a job, being financially strong and independent is not what attracts a man. It just isn't. But they've been propagated by the education, the media, industrial complex, so on and so forth, to believe in girl power feminism, even though it's just these corporations promoting their own interests under the guise of social justice. I mean, do you think Pepsi gives a damn about children in the United States and inner cities? Give me a break. Anyway, these women are propagated. These large advertising agencies are hired by these corporations. They look at their demographics, who they're going to be selling their products to, the age group, and CoverGirl typically is the 18 to 45 age group, which is the main consumer base when it comes to beauty products. As a result, they find out what interest that particular demographic. Since they know that feminism is going to be alluring to that demographic, then they target them in that way. So the second reason is to sell products. Now the third reason is to engineer society. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by engineering society is, let me just be clear before I get into this. I have no issue if two consenting adults want to do something, that's their prerogative. That's their business. That is no skin off my back. But the reason that gay marriage is being promoted, LGBTQ, while I personally have no problem with individual adults choosing at their own discretion what to do themselves, being promoted in the same context as feminism and globalism is part of a sinister plot. And what is that? Well, that is part of trying to promote population control. See, the elites know that not only if we're dumbed down and divided, but if there's less of us to control, it'll be easier for them to consolidate power at the top. That's why they are promoting gay marriage, because two gay people cannot reproduce naturally. And feminism, if the men and the women are divided amongst one another, then the chance of them coming together and having the family, a healthy family, a healthy family structure. See, a lot of children that do not grow up in homes with a healthy family structure, a mother that is feminine, caring, nurturing, a father that is hardworking, that is strong, that is masculine, they grow up confused. And as a result, they are less productive in society. So it's all about demonizing what is good, demonizing what made America great in the first place, making the West look bad. Traditional values look mundane. Traditional values like Christianity, which built the West. And by the way, I'm not a Christian, I'm just being straightforward. Christianity built the West, the greatest society that ever existed. But the demonization of Christianity, the promotion of Islam, it's all part of a greater plan. Now let's observe another commercial that is giving you the same ideas. The way I dissected the previous commercial, the same context applies for this commercial. I will dissect it more simplistically. It is basically the same goals. They have the same end game in terms of the first advertisement, but they do it a little differently. So let me show you this advertisement.
Sorry, huh?
NBA superstar.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
Okay, so let me be clear. As a player, I like Dwayne Wade. He's retired now. He was one of my favorite players growing up. I sort of grew up with him, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James. So I personally like Dwayne Wade. Gabrielle Union is a judge on America's Got Talent. She's beautiful, and I have nothing personal against her. For me, it's situational. So you notice they are promoting competition between the woman and the man, just like the previous advertisement. They are using a NBA superstar and a beautiful Hollywood woman to appeal to their advertisement base. It kind of goes down the same context as the other commercial. Now, why did I show you both those advertisements? It's because when you find similarities, when you find parallels, when you find common promoted ideas in seemingly different industries, Gatorade, which is a sports drink, as opposed to CoverGirl, it just further emphasizes how feminism is being promoted. And look at Marvel. I don't watch that bullshit because on the one hand, I am tired of these superhero movies. I think there's so many interesting stories about ancient history that they should make films out of those. But if you notice, they're making a woman Iron Man. They made him a pussy. I liked Han Solo as a kid. He was my favorite character in the Star Wars franchise, but they ruined him. In the movie Solo, he is a complete pussy. The woman knew everything about the ship. The woman was more intelligent, and that's the way it goes. Captain Marvel is a woman, even though in the comic books, it was always a man. If that's your prerogative, go for it, but just realize what they're promoting is not in your best interest. Why is it, though, that seemingly unconnected products, Gatorade, CoverGirl, Star Wars, Marvel, they all promote the same ideas? Like I previously stated, the 1% is trying to divide us. When we're divided, when we're dumbed down, because people don't read books anymore, they don't understand history, we're divided, we're dumbed down. Women are all about women empowerment. Instead of building a family together, you have a smaller population. The consolidation of power is easier, therefore we're easier to control. And in the process, while the city is burning, while Rome is being invaded by the barbarians, hypothetically speaking, of course, the 1% will get richer because the dupes, under the guise of social justice and caring about women, caring about minorities, they will buy those products. They will buy Nike. Here's the thing. If you let Nike affect your life in a serious fashion, you're stupid as shit. All those rednecks saying, Nike is terrible, burning it. Why would you burn shoes that are perfectly wearable? But on the other hand, buying Nike just because you think it promotes social justice when they are a slave factory, like everyone else, Nike's not any worse than any other corporation, but don't go around and say, oh yeah, I'm going to buy Nike because I think it promotes equality. You're a dumbass, you're a dupe, you're part of the problem instead of the solution. See, these people think they're part of the solution, but they're just part of the problem, which is these corporations promoting social justice causes, people buying into those corporations, even though they hate capitalism, typically social justice warriors do. So the 1% gets richer, we get dumber, we get unhealthier, we are further divided, and the consolidation of power is easier.